So I'm doing a recap of my week. On Monday, the 13th of October, I finished this puzzle. I started it October 1st, and it was hard. It really was a frustrating puzzle, very slow to build. There were pieces that looked like they went together but didn't. So like I had to rebuild this part because I put pieces in, and then there would be one piece that didn't fit, and then I would realize that I had to rebuild the whole thing. So this one was really hard. Over here was hard. Oh, this was hard. But I did it. I got it done. And so my husband's going to hang it up on the study wall. He's already put tape on the back of it. But yeah, so this though inspired me. Where is it? Right here, Barnaby Rudge. This one, this was hard to do. But I think because this was in this puzzle, and then I saw two people talking about Barnaby Rudge this Victober. So I think Barnaby Rudge might be my Dickens for next year. So I only seem to be able to manage a Dickens a year, but I think Barnaby Rudge might be my choice. So remind me of that in 2026. That's what I said. All right, and then I have Isaiah's been ongoing all week. So I've read up through chapter 20, so I'm right on schedule with that and enjoying it very, very much. Then on Tuesday, I finished this book, and it was excellent, and I'll talk about that. And then on Wednesday, I finished this book, Ronald Knox, The Viaduct Murder, and that's for the Detection Club. This is Victober. This is for the Detection Club reading event. And then last night, I finished Our Mutual Friend. So I'm going to talk about these three books. Hello, everyone. This is Faith at Faith and Books. How are you doing? It is October 17th. It is a crisp, cool fall day. It was actually really chilly this morning when I walked the dog. It was in the 30s, upper 30s. So I thought I would just do a Friday check-in. These seem to be working for me, so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to talk about this book, The McDermotts of Ballycloran, or I don't know how you say the last name here. But anyway, by Anthony Trollope. This was his first novel. It was a buddy read with Katie at Books and Things. Excellent book. Excellent book. When I finished this book, I had like this afterglow. It was in my dreams. I woke up thinking about it the whole next day. I just wandered around in a fog from it. It's sad. It's a sad story, but you know that from the beginning. So the premise is that this guy is visiting this little town on business, and he takes this walk while he's waiting to get his ride back in whatever the carriage or a stagecoach or whatever. This is in the 1830s in Ireland. That's when it's set. And he runs across this ruined estate that's just been abandoned and is in shambles. And he's very curious about it. And so he asks the carriage driver. And so the carriage driver tells him about the fate of the McDermotts of Ballycloran. And it mostly focuses on this brother and sister who are young adults. And their father is obsessed with his maintaining his status as the owner of this estate. But he's completely in debt, and he cannot pay the builder. He never was able to pay the builder, and it's mortgaged. And so he's constantly fighting off the debtor, and they're trying to get rents from the tenants, but the tenants are too poor to pay any rent. So it's just this terrible, vicious circumstance. And it's about what that does to everybody. But the brother and sister both have potential, but they also have kind of fatal flaws as well. And it's a really, really good depiction of what the English did to the Irish, how they really degraded them and oppressed them. It's also about the tensions between the classes, and this could be for the prompt about social mobility, as people desperately trying to cling to their social status. And it also reflected the tension between the Protestants and the Catholics. So, and what's interesting about it is the most lovable character in the book is this Catholic priest, Father John, who is trying to help these two. They're basically, I mean, their mother died, but their father is kind of going crazy, and they don't have any guidance, and they're in this terrible, dire situation financially, and they just make really bad choices. It's very melodramatic. It's just wonderful. Now, I had trouble getting into it because of the dialect, but I know about myself that if I just persevere, I will get through that, and at some point it won't be an issue. That did slow me down. I had started this book earlier in the year and hadn't cracked that, and this time I did, and I'm so glad that I did, because it was a really excellent book. 5 stars for sure. So, and then the next book that I finished was The Viaduct Murder by Ronald Knox, and this is also a 5-star read. This mystery had so much in it. I felt like it was really applicable to us today in the 21st century, because so it's these 4 guys. They're 4 like chums at this golf club where you can stay. So like people will work during the week in London, and then they'll come down and stay at the country club and play golf and hang out with their buddies on the weekends. And then there's some people who live in the town and some people who do that. There's these 4 guys. Their names are Marriott. He's an Anglican priest, I think, that somehow lives at the country club. I didn't quite get that one. And then there were Reeves, Gordon, and who was the last guy? Carmichael. Oh, he was comical. Yeah, and they all have their own personalities, but what happens is 2 of them, while they're golfing under a viaduct, a railroad viaduct that goes over one part of the golf course, they find a dead body. And so the police have ruled it a suicide, but they're convinced that it was murder. And so they decide to play amateur sleuths. And the guy Reeves is really the most gung-ho about it. And it's so funny because he goes off on these crazy ideas. You know, he's conjuring up all these scenarios and what this clue might mean. And you have no idea if he's going off on a wild goose chase, or he mostly is, but then he'll uncover some kind of clue. But what was so interesting about it, I mean, it has very funny scenes in it. But what was interesting about it was that it showed how you can have a little bit of knowledge and be completely 100% wrong about your judgment. And it made me think about us, you know, where, you know, people go to, like, they read the New York Times or they go to Fox News, and then they have their own social media that they, you know, their little balloon, and then they're absolutely convinced that they understand how the world is working. And you can be 100% wrong. I mean, it's so clever the way he builds this case, and then you find out that it was completely wrong. So I just thought there was so much creative wit in this, and it was so much more than just a mystery. So I really enjoyed it. 5 stars for sure. And I'm already starting on another book by Ronald Knox called The 3 Taps, which I think I've read before. And I think I thought you have to really know 1920s, you know, British plumbing in order to understand. But I'm going to read it again because I have read this too and I didn't remember it, and I read it again and I really appreciated it. So I think sometimes when I read things on my Kindle, I don't take it in as well. And also I'm reading it like in the middle of the night when I'm tired and I might miss stuff. But I seem to miss stuff. I really do. I'm worried about my ability to concentrate and take stuff in accurately. But anyway, 5-star read, highly recommended. This is for the Detection Club reading event that Talia Nerds Out is hosting. So I'll link to that below. And then the final one, and this one, I'm sad to say, I finished this last night. It was disappointing at the end. I loved about the first 3/4 of it. I really, really did. But then we got to a couple of chapters that were so saccharine, so nauseatingly cutesy. I just didn't, I had to grit my teeth to read them. And that took me out of the story and made me realize that some of the qualms I have with Dickens sometimes. And then it took me a really long time to get back into to be immersed in it the way I had been for the first 3/4 of the book. And then I did not like the way he resolved that particular storyline at all. Like, I had real moral problems with it, and I didn't like what it did to the other personalities that were involved that I had been really invested in. Yeah, I just didn't like the way he wound that up. Now, the other storylines, because there's many storylines in here, he did wrap them up pretty well. There were some that I found satisfying, but it was enough of a disappointment that I literally was upset. I was upset about the ending of this book. And so I think I need a little bit of distance to judge it more objectively. I'm looking forward to the discussion. So this was the Victorian read for Kay and Howe's Victorian Book Club. So I'm looking forward to the discussion to see what other people say. But so I thought it was going to be like one of my top tier Dickens. So my very favorite Dickens are David Copperfield, Great Expectations, A Tale of Two Cities, and A Christmas Carol. And all the other ones I have enjoyed. I've read, this is my 10th now. This is my 10th Dickens. I'm including Christmas Carol and Cricket on the Hearth. And I enjoy them, but I do always have a problem with how verbose he is in just certain aspects. So it's never like hits it all the way home for me, like those top 4 do. And I really thought this was going to be up in that top tier, and it didn't make it. I think Pickwick Papers might be up there too. I laughed so much for that, and I found it so intriguing. I think I like those episodic stories almost as much as the ones with the crazy plots. Anyway, so that was a disappointment. And not that it isn't a great book, and I recommend reading it and everything. It's a classic Dickens. But it just, I'm still up. I mean, this was only last night. I'm still upset about the ending of that one storyline. Well, and there were a couple storylines. I don't know. Anyway, so that was our mutual friend. So it was a pretty good week for Victober, though, and for reading in general. So I'm glad for that, and I feel a sense of accomplishment. So now I'm on to other things. So, all right, talk to you later. So we are hosting our neighborhood, what am I trying to say, Halloween party. And so we're going to have it, what they do is it's a potluck thing. Families take turns hosting it, and you just open up your garage and have a table in there, and the kids play, and that's, and then everyone goes trick-or-treating. So my husband and I were cleaning the garage yesterday. We're getting that ready. I'm trying to get decorations and stuff. But I thought maybe we could have a haunted house for the kids somehow. So, and I thought, to light up this pathway, which we have these pumpkin vines growing. No pumpkins, though. I don't know how people get pumpkins early. My pumpkins always come very late. Like, they're more like for Thanksgiving rather than Halloween. I must always get late varieties. But anyway, this is a pumpkin vine that's gone crazy. So along this pathway, I was thinking of putting some kind of lights and maybe some hanging ghosts. And look, there's an owl. And then coming down here, I'm planning to have some kind of display right down here, like maybe in front of those compost piles there. And I'm thinking of the kids could come down here. We have a lot of camping lanterns, and maybe have them down here. The kids could play on the playground. And then I bought this inflatable dinosaur that roars, and I'm thinking of like having him sitting in here. I don't know. I'm trying to make it spooky, but not too spooky. I don't want to scare the little ones, but I want to, I want to try and do something that's fun. What the heck is this? Oh, this is I think this might be to blow up, or maybe the ball or something. I don't know what it was for. Anyway, yeah, so I need to tidy this up and figure out exactly what we're gonna do with this fort and playground for the Halloween party. I think it could be fun. I really think it could be fun.